Hello, folks. So unfortunately, the boys couldn't do the game that we planned on doing due to work commitments. So as I've got the board set up, I thought I'd do a playtest video and see how it goes. I originally did this a couple of days ago, and it was a disaster for the Romans. So let's see how I do on this one. So because obviously there is a surprise with the ambush. Um, Quite easy way of doing it is basically that the Romans must travel straight forward until the surprise is sprung, so that obviously there's no way that they could anticipate that it's actually going to happen. So it seemed to work well when I played it last time, despite the overall disaster it was for the Romans. So we'll do it again, and let's say I'll film this one and just see how it plays. It'd be good practice again to get back into Hail Caesar. I'll probably make lots of mistakes again, like I think I did with the first one, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we'll move straight on to turn one, I think. Okay, before we get started, as part of this scenario, the first thing we've got to do is see what damaged our skirmishers and cavalry units on the Roman side received on their previous skirmish. So all we have to do is roll a dice for each unit, and if it's a 1, 2, or 3, they have 1 casualty. If it's a 4, 5, or 6, they have 2. So we'll do this cavalry unit here first, and that is a 5, so that's not good. So they immediately start off with 2 casualties. Then the next skirmish unit in front of them are the Velites. Theirs is a bit better, so they only have 1 casualty. Then we got the other Velites. Again, not bad. Not good, but not bad. So that's 1 casualty on them. Last Velites unit. Unfortunately, 2 casualties for them. And the last cavalry unit. And again, 2 casualties. So it looks like the cavalry units for the Romans came out worse during that skirmish the previous day. I believe it was the previous day. It could have been the same morning. Right, so there we go. So that's that bit done before we carry on with the turn for the Romans. They also, as part of the scenario, because of the freezing conditions of the river that they're going to be crossing, they become disordered as soon as they cross that river. So that will slow them down. So I'll do turn 1, and then we'll give a quick update and see how it went. You really can't write this stuff. So I thought I'd just do a quick clip here. So literally just sat down, thought I'd do my first order for the first unit on the Allied division, which is the cavalry unit, and I've done a blunder straight away. Brilliant. So let's roll for that. And that is a 4, which I shall check is on the blunder table. A 4 is drift right. 1 move to the right, so that's not too bad, I suppose, but obviously the skirmishers will have to move out of the way, so it could have been a lot worse. It could have been off the table before they even started. Okay, I'll continue with turn 1. So turn 1 for the Romans wasn't a disaster, other than the obviously the Allied division that failed its blunder. Failed its order with a blunder. I didn't do my general's reroll either, so I decided to save that in case I needed it for my more regular Roman troops. But they did okay. So basically, the right-hand division 2 moves forward, and the the centre division 1 move forward. All of them obviously became disordered going across the river as part of the rules, but at least they're moving forward, which is more than they did on the first turn in my previous playtest. So we'll move on to Carthage and see how they react. Okay, movement done for the Carthage player. Pretty much left my line as it was, trying to sock the Romans in a little bit, but I did attempt to move my skirmishers forward to see if I can knock a few casualties off the Romans as they seem to be in a disordered state. My slingers got close enough to shoot, but 2 of my javelin units, or light units and javelin units, didn't. but one of my javelin units did over there. So we'll do the slingers first. So they are 2 dice, I believe. So they will be hitting on, so they're going up against skirmishers. So they're shooting at these skirmishers here. So that's 5 and 6. And nothing. Okay, so that's the slingers done, and then we've got the javelins over there. So they're hitting on 4, 5s and 6s against the Hastati unit in front of them. A bit better. And the Hastati save on a 4+. Okay, so 1 casualty. There's that one there. Okay, so not too bad, I suppose. Casualty is a casualty. So we'll move on to the Roman turns. They, like I said, they're disordered, so they're probably not going to be doing a lot. That's why I also wanted to push my skirmishers forward to take advantage. So I should be able to get at least 2 shots before they can even move. So we'll see what little they can do. The only option they can do really is to try and get the Allied division across the river. So we'll let the Romans do their move. Okay, so the Allied division did okay on this turn. Of course, they are disordered from going across the river, but at least they got across the river this time. So they all moved pretty much 1 or 2 moves. With these Gauls, actually could have moved 3 moves. So I did the order to move 3 moves, but yeah, it's more like 2.5. I didn't want to go too far forward. And then everyone else was disordered, so they couldn't move. So we're on to the shooting now for the Romans. So there's been some discussion on the rules regarding the pillar. I'm on pretty much on the lines that it's only used in combat. Simply because I regard the other units, like the javelin light infantry unit, as being skirmishers, and you don't want to make the pillar too powerful. It's already pretty good in close combat, so I'm not gonna allow the Roman units to be able to fire in the normal firing phase of the turn. If anyone has any views on that, please let me know, and let me know what they do with regards to the pillar and the pillar rules. But that's how I sort of read it. So the only unit really that can fire on this on the Roman turn 2 is the Velites there. They can fire at these javelin unit here. I think that's pretty much it. I think that Velate unit there is out of range, and the only other one is obviously still at the back there. So let's do the Velate. So they are firing at this unit here. So they have a shooting value of 3, hitting on 4s. Sorry, hitting on 5s because it's they're shooting against a open unit. Yep, not too bad. So that's 2 hits. I don't believe. Let's just put a little marker there so I know. But let's just take a look at this unit here. Do they have a skirmish value? I'll leave them out of the way. So do they have a morale? No, their morale is, you see that? 0. Okay, so the back. So they've got no saves. So it's well, I don't even need to roll, do they? They've got no saves. So they're going to take 2 hits. So yeah, I'll put them on, and then we'll move on to the Carthage turn 2. Okay, turn 2 for Carthage. Left my line pretty much as I did on turn 1, just moving the skirmishers forward. And while this allied division is disordered, decided to move my Numidian cavalry up as well, so they can get a couple of pot shots in there. See if we can knock a few casualties off. Only really did 4 orders in total, and all of them were successful. So my skirmishers have just moved up. Well, I forgot to mention on the previous turn, obviously these got a 6, so they were disordered, so they can't move, which is fine because at least they'll get a shot off this turn as well. So we'll start with the Numidians. I think the Numidian cavalry. So they get 2 dice. So let's get them, and they're hitting on 4s. So that's 1 hit, and the cavalry save on 5s, I believe. Let's just double check that. Upside down again. Yeah, 5+. Okay, so they got 1 save to make on a 5+, which they do not. So that's another casualty. I believe. I think their stamina might be 4, so they are getting pretty close. Starting off with 2 casualties wasn't ideal. Okay, so that leaves this javelin unit here. Again, 2 attacks, hitting on 4s. Got a disorder again. 1 hit. So the Gauls, well, actually, it's they are supposed to be Gauls, but they're Spanish. It's the same stats for the warbands. So, they are saving on a 5, and they save. Okay, so that leaves this unit here. Got the allied Astarte over there. Again, 2 dice. So these are slingers. I keep forgetting about the slingers. That they -1 morale at short range on the enemy. So 2 dice. Like I say, I will get rules wrong on this. Oh, 2 hits. Wow. Okay. 2 saves for them, and their savings on 4+. And they save 1. So the -1 wouldn't have made a difference, would it? Yes, it would, because that would have been. That one, it would make out 5. That mean, yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference. So 1 hit, which is actually their first hit, so not too bad. So that was these slingers. So then we've got these 2 units here, and although they couldn't move, they can shoot. So we'll do the first one on the right. Actually, that's a light. Let's just see what their stats are. So these are the light infantry. So they are short range of 2. So just the same, really. I presume they're better at fighting than skirmishers. Okay, so 2 dice. They'll go for the Hastati as well. So, oh, no good for them. And the unit next to them. 2 dice, but they are disordered. I think, does that make a difference in shooting? I'll double check that in a second. So that's 5, so that's 2 hits. Let me just double check my rulebook. Okay, quick check, and yes, it does. So that would be a 3, which would be a miss. So they only have 1 save to make. And they saves on 4, 5, or 6s. They don't save, so they get 1 hit. Okay, turn 3 for the Romans, and managed to push my units forward. Got some successful orders this turn, and also managed to make contact with a skirmisher unit there. They were unable to evade. Pushed back the other skirmisher units, so managed to make some headway forward and starting to look a bit more organised. Unfortunately, the Allied division, because of their previous move across the river, are still disordered, so they can't do a lot. They're just going to have to put up with a bit of punishment from the skirmishers. But once they take the disordered markers off the end of this turn, they can start to move up and catch up their fellow Romans. So no shooting really for the Romans this turn. The only thing we've got to do is the combat. I won't film this bit because it is literally mostly a formed unit against a skirmish unit, so it'll be pretty obvious what's going to happen, I would imagine. But hey, who knows? The roll of the dice. So we'll move straight on. After this, I'll move straight on to Carthage, turn 3. Okay, turn 3 for the Carthage player. Nothing much really, just keep my skirmishes in place to do a bit more damage. moved them a bit closer after they got pushed back when they had to evade before. I also moved up my cavalry. Did want to actually make contact with that Roman cavalry unit over there, but unfortunately didn't get the dice roll. So just one move forward, or at least they're moving forward. So we'll go on to the shooting phase. I'll say no real combat yet, apart from the unit of javelin men that was taken out by the Hastati. As I suspected, they couldn't stand up against the Hastati troops. So let's do the Numidians again. So 2 dice, hitting on 4 5s or 6s. Don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, disordered them again, so it's a 6, and they save on 5 pluses. Which they save, just the disorder then. But that's good, that pins them down. So let's go over to our javelin there, going up against the warband. Again, 2. Hitting on 4 5s or 6s. 2 hits and the disorder again. Those disorders are actually going to be quite beneficial. So that's 2 saves, and they're on a 5+ save. No, so 2 hits. So they're doing a bit of damage, the javelin men. So slingers, they're going to go for the. Let's see at that angle. Can they go for? Yeah, I believe they can, can't they? Yeah, I think they can go for the Hastati. I might be wrong here. I'm trying to think of what the frontage is, but I'm not sure actually. I'll have to check. So let me check that. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of checking in this game because I've not played it for so long. So I'll just have a quick look. Okay, quick check, and yeah, they are in the arc, shall we say? So they have 2 dice, and they are going to be hitting on 4 5s or 6s. So, and that is a 6, another disorder. So that's 1 hit, which they Roman Astarte can save on a 4+. They don't, so that's a damage on them as well. Yeah, these skirmishers are certainly doing their work. So that just leaves my light infantry unit there, and they are 2 dice, hitting on 4 pluses. No, nothing. I think they let me down last time. So nothing on them, but yeah, certainly some nice little hits there for the skirmish fire. That's pretty much it for the Carthage turn 3, so we'll move on to the Romans turn 4. Okay, movement turn 4 for the Romans. Because of the disorder markers on this left flank on the Allied division, I really only moved up a little bit, but I did get successful orders. I'm trying to keep the units together as much as possible because I think that's my best chance when I hit the Carthage line. If I can keep them organised and supporting each other in a nice big block. So apart from that, just the skirmishers moving up really, and we'll have some skirmish fire next for the Romans. So we'll start off with this unit here. Now Velites are slightly better than the javelin units, so they have 3 dice. So this particular unit here is shooting at open cavalry, so it will be hitting on 5s and 6s, and nothing. Okay, so we'll move on to the next Velites unit, which will be this one here. Again, 5s and 6s. We've got 1 this time. They don't have any defense, so that's just 1 hit. One hit for them. And the last ones I moved up were these ones here because I was hoping to get some hits on these cavalry. So roll 3 dice for them. hitting on, they are cavalry, but I don't think their class is open. I think they're medium cavalry, so I'm hitting on 4, 5s and 6s. Just the one hit. And they save on, let's have a look. So they're saving on, oh, a 5+. So 5+. No, so they get one hit. So a hit is a hit. There we go. So that's it for the Roman turn. So they're able to take these disorder markers off now. They've got on here. And then we'll have Carthage turn 4. Okay, turn 4 for Carthage, and I decided to spring Mago's surprise. So they've moved one move. They're not allowed to move into combat. They're only allowed to move one move. So as pretty much most of the Roman divisions had gone past the terrain they were hiding in, they have appeared. So as they did that, I thought, well, let's go for it now then. So let's charge our elephants, and they were very successful. So these 2 elephant units here charged into the warband. Not so much. I tried to push everyone forward basically. Not so much for these only getting one move forward, but it was actually Hanno's division that let me down the most, because his first unit, which was the Libyan heavies, actually got a blunder, so they had to make one move to the left. So they're not really, unfortunately they're not supporting Hannibal's forward advances at the moment, but we will definitely get some interesting combats on this turn with the elephants taking centre stage. So we'll do the shooting for the Carthage. Again, it's just the lights over here and the lights here. So let's do the Numidians first. A bucket of dice. Okay, so Numidians. 2 dice hitting on 4, 5s or 6s. Just a 1 this time, and the Roman player gets to save on 5s for his medium cavalry, and he does not, so that's another hit on them. Actually, let's check the stamina of those. Okay, so they are stamina 4, so they will be taking a test. Oh, is it stamina? I've always done it as once you reach your stamina. I'm not sure if it's every hit over the stamina. I'll double check that before they take their break test. So here we go over to the slingers again. This time they're going against the veletes. So they get 2 dice hitting on 5s and 6s. Oh, very good. So 2 hits. So the morale of veletes is going to be a -1 because it's the slingers. So I believe they are a 5+. Let's just check that. Focus. 6+. Okay, so it basically means they can't save then, isn't it? Is that right? -1 on the morale. They normally save on a 6, so they can't save it, so they're going to take 2 hits. Which puts them on a 3. So that was good for me. So next we have, oh, not missed this unit here, Javelin, and they're going to go against Hastati. So it's 2 dice hitting on 4+. And again, and another disorder marker as well. Those are the ones that are important, really. I mean, hits are nice, but disorder markers are good as well. So they will get a disorder marker. And they save on a 4+. So 1 save. So I'll get a casualty dice for them in a second. So remember they've got 1. And then we're over to the light infantry here. Astarte again. So 2 for those. Hitting on 4+. another disorder marker. Wow. Okay, and 2 hits. That's saving on 4 pluses. 1. So again, it's all hits. It's all whittling down. That's in there disordered as well. Okay, is that left? That's it for the skirmishing. So we'll move on to combat. Okay, so we got our first larger combat. So it's going to be 2 elephant units against a warband unit. Now, the manipula, or whatever it's called, support formation that the Romans use actually works against this warband because they don't have that rule, and the units to their right are actually on the corners, so they can't support. If I'm reading that right, they should be alongside to give support or behind. So I'm taking that as they can't be supported by those 2 units, which is obviously a disadvantage for the warband. It's great for the Romans when they're fighting, but not for the warband, which seems right. Please let me know if I'm wrong there. So we'll take it slowly. I'm bound to make mistakes on this one, but I'll try not to. So we'll start off with the 2 elephant units. So the elephants have, so they have, let's have a look, clash of 4. Okay, so we need 4 dice for those. Each elephant. They're charging, so they get the +1, so they're hitting on 3s. I'm trying to think if they got any other rule. I know they got something about horses, and they also have, if they win the combat, yeah, I think that's it for them. So they're hitting on 4s. Sorry, hitting on 3s, sorry. Okay, to look what we got. Not too bad. Could have been better, but above average. So we got 5 hits. Okay, so now we'll do the warband. And the warband are good. Are they down as tough fighters as well? Let's have a look. They are down as wild fighters, which means I think that means they get to reroll all their misses. And their clash is 9. I think I'll just double check that. Clash 9. So I've not got my glasses on. Okay, so it's a lot of dice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And they get to reroll. Hitting on 4s. Oh, they didn't do that good, but they do get that reroll. So, they did terrible. Yikes. Good job they got a reroll, isn't it? So I've only got 1 hit at the moment. Any better? You hit on 4. Yeah, that was a lot better. Yeah, okay. Get rid of them. So you actually hit with 7 hits. Okay, so those are the hits. So now we do the saves. Have they got anything? Don't think there's any special rules to save. So it's just whatever the morale is. So again, let's look at the elephants. Morale 4+. That's not bad. And I know the warband are 5+. So we'll do the elephants first. They're saving on a 4+. Again, the average save 2, 3. So they actually got 4 hits. Okay, and then we have saves for the warband, and they are saving on 5 pluses. Well, they only saved 1. Okay. So that's evens, basically. 4 on 4. Is there any rules or anything that would change that? I don't believe so. So I would put that down as a draw, 4 apiece. But so we've got to split the casualties between the 2 elephants. So two 2 each, and then the warband gets 4. And their stamina is... where are we? Stamina... Is that right? 4? Surely they're more than that. I've got 4 there. I'm going to double check that, because I would have thought they would be more than 4. Okay, I'll check that. I thought they would have been like a 6 or something. Let's compare that to the heavy infantry of the Libyans. Yeah, 6. I thought with the unit being so big, the stamina would be better. I'm going to double check that. Maybe I've mistyped something there. But anyway, they will take in 4 hits, which will give them a 6, which would make a break test anyway. But it might be a break test for -2. Okay, let me check that, and then we'll do the break test. Okay, so I've checked, and yes, it was a typo. The stamina should actually be 6, not 4. I did think it was unusual that a unit that large would only have a stamina of 4, so it is 6. So they do have, I mean, they still have to take a break test, obviously. The biggest problem they've got is because they are fighting elephants, and they have to take a break test, it's actually going to only be 1 dice. So this could be bad. So let's roll the dice. 2. Well, I'm still remembering how to use the rules, but I'm pretty sure that is not good. So let's have a quick look. I think next time I'll actually print all these out, the sheets and stuff, so that I don't have to keep looking in the book. I suppose the more I play it, the more I'm going to get to remember certain things. But I mean, 2 does sound pretty bad. So let's have a look. Here we are, break tests. Oh yeah, that's yeah. There's no denying that. So they are gone. So the warband are gone. I shall then suppose I'll have to check whether the elephants do sweep in advance, or I don't think you can turn on a sweep in advance. So it wouldn't make any difference. But I'll check and see if they can do even more damage. Okay, so the elephants could do a sweep in advance. Only one of the elephants could do it, because the other elephant there didn't have anything within its arc. So this elephant here did a sweep in advance to the terrarii there. The terrarii had the option to turn to face, but it did make them disordered. So we'll do that little combat now between them. So we'll do the terrarii first. So they're hitting on 4s. They are disordered, which means they're hitting on 5s. So we got there. We got 1, 2 hits. Now for the elephant, 4 dice, hitting on 3s for charging. 2 hits as well. So this will all depend on the saving throws. Okay, so we'll do the Romans first. Saving throw of a 4+, but they do get a reroll because they are stubborn, which they save anyway. So no hits on the Romans. Now for the elephant, saving throw of 4+ as well, but no reroll. And they save as well, so a complete draw with no hits. So that is it. They stay as they are. Okay, so I'll tidy up the board a little bit, move some of these dice out of the way, the markers, and we then go on to Roman turn 5. Okay, so we're about to start turn 5 for the Romans. So what I'm going to do from now on, rather than filming every little sequence, I'll do a quick video of the beginning of the turn and the catch up on the end of the turn. Otherwise the video is going to go on forever and take too long. So here we are for turn 5 for the Romans. So at the moment the left flank is obviously extremely threatened with this surprise coming in, plus all the damage that that we received on this flank. Anyway, those cavalry are pretty much done, I think. They're already shaken. But we shall see what we can do. I think the best strategy for the Romans, as pretty much historical, is to push forward, just keep pushing forward. So my plan as the Romans is to push forward, try and secure this right flank with the amount of cavalry there is over there, but also just keep ploughing forward. And there's a bit of a gap there between the two divisions, between the Carthage divisions. So if I can secure my left flank slightly as well, and hold off the elephants enough to push forward and really try and get these Libyan heavy infantry engaged, because I think with the Romans, with their special rules, they have a fair chance against the Libyans. So that's what I'll be planning to do as the Roman player for this turn. So do a catch up at the end of this turn and let's see how it goes. Okay, just completed turn 5 Roman movement and shooting, and it was quite good actually. So the Roman unit here got a disorder and hit on the Numidian cavalry. The Roman skirmishers here actually destroyed the slingers, 3 hits, but they already had 1 wound, so they were destroyed. And then over here, again, some good shooting, javelins, 2 hits on the Libyan medium cavalry there, and disordered as well, so that's good. Regards to movement, tried to push these up 2 moves, but unfortunately only got 1 move. Did manage to push these up two moves, and they've gone into combat now with the Libyan heavy cavalry, but unfortunately couldn't get my Tuarai up in support because they only got 1 move. Over here, nothing much really, other than the allied unit's gone into support of that allied unit there, which is engaged with the elephants, and the general has joined the combat. So we're going to do the combats now and see what the result is. Longus has decided to put his all in this combat as well. I think he realises it's quite important to get some damage done on these Libyan heavy infantry. Not sure whether Hannibal will join the combat yet, but we'll see. So I'll do the combats for the Romans for turn 5. Okay, so I've done the combat for the Roman turn, and there was 3 combats in total. So the conclusion was, the first one was the elephants against the Tiarai, and as you can see, they broke the Tiarai and forced the supports back. So they are on stamina 3 at the moment, but they got stamina of 6. The elephant. I mean, the elephants are just that 1 dice for break tests. If you lose against them is it's lethal. It really is, because you only need to take 1 or 2 casualties, and then you're gone. And that's basically what happened. So not so good for the Roman side on there, but a real dramatic turn of events was actually the combat over here. So Longus decided to join the combat. Hannibal, for whatever reason, didn't really need to, but he decided to join the combat as well, and it was a disaster for the Carthage player. So basically, the heavy Libyans were broken. The 2 units with their special rules as tough fighters as well for the Hastati, and really good dice throwing meant that they smashed the Libyans, absolutely smashed them. The Carthage player, i.e. me, because I'm both sides, made a mistake that I didn't put my goals alongside the Libyans. So you see there, they were pushed forward, which is a big mistake because I couldn't get support. And then when we checked for commanders being slain or not, Hannibal got a double 6, followed by a 3. So he's gone. The great Hannibal has died on his very first battle in Italy. Not as historically happened, but that's what gaming's all about, isn't it? And changes happen and different circumstances arise. The third combat was the cavalry clash on the flank. It was pretty even, but unfortunately the Roman, because the Roman cavalry already had 2 hits on it previously, before the game even started, they were shaken and had to take a break test, and they were pushed back. So they are shaken at the moment. But yeah, good result really for the Romans. Not so much obviously with the Allied division, but taking Hannibal out of the picture, he will be replaced with a generic general, and we shall go on to Carthage and see how they resolve this now they've lost their great leader.